Good morning. Today we'll discuss Premchand and the period that he was writing in, about the age that he was writing in, the contemporary problems and the society which had influenced his works. So we can say that, like Arnold, Premchand is also of the view that literature is the criticism of life. In every aspect of life, it is vivid and described and explained. And Premchand has given a great importance to the society and the social emotional sentiments that are associated with it. He has constructed the plot of his novels in a way, or in the background of the social setup in his novels, that we find a very living or lively picture of the contemporary life and the problems related to the people living in that society. So the individuals form the society, and therefore the problems related to man become the problems of the society. That is the reason why Premchand never ignores man, while he closely and very minutely delineates the social, economic and the moral problems of his age. So why is it so? Because Premchand had a deep knowledge of the problems of his age or the period that he was writing in. He was writing in the age of resurrection. The new generation was deeply influenced by the Western civilization. People felt proud in adopting or imitating the Western ways and manners of life. So this gave a rise to many new problems, and the social setup that rested upon the age's old traditions and ideals seemed to be collapsing because of the influence of the West. The whole country was under, in a way, impact of capitalism, and the society seemed to be divided into various classes, as we can see that even today the growing influence of capitalism produced bourgeois mentality, and it affected every aspect of social life. There emerged many new problems, and the chief problems that were seen in that period was the problem of the widows, the problem of prostitutes, economic independence, education and political and social rights. And women too of that period were struggling or fighting for their individual rights. So we can say that Premchand was fully aware of the problems of his age, and he was minutely observing the changes that were happening around him in the society. So he has never left any problem untouched, and he tried to portray the whole age when he is writing his novels. So he is projecting all the problems that he had confronted or that he had experienced in his age. So he has presented the social, political, economic and communal problems of the first three stages of what is called the Gandhian period. So realistically, that it was hard to be found in the writings of any other novelist of that period. So generally speaking, we can say that every man has his own limitations, and he may be interested in some problems of the life, and he may be indifferent to them. But Premchand had such a broad outlook and great sympathetic approach for the poor and the downtrodden of the society, that he touched almost all the aspects of human life. He observed the life of people closely, and for him art was for social utility. And because he was a reformist and made every effort to bring a change in the social setup through his writings, and he believed that it was the only possible way to bring refinement in the man's personality or overall change in the society. So it was due to his close association with the people of his age that and his minute observations of the problems of his age that he depicted a true and very realistic picture of the social and political setup or events of the period. His works of that period have a historical importance and they deserve to be given as much importance as is given to the other activities of the political figures of that period. There are two reasons for it, because Premchand was fully aware of the life and problems of his age and raised the structure of his novels on the base of the life and the society of that period or that age. So when we carefully read the novels, it reveals that how conscious he was to the problems of his period or his age. So we can see that Premchand had the tendency of delineating various social problems from the beginning of his career. We can see all such problems in his different novels that he has written. We can discuss one or two over here and then we can move on to the one that is prescribed in our syllabus. We can see that in Prem Ashram, which is one of the important novels of Premchand, Premchand presents the concept of zamindari system and the abolition of zamindari system, that is the land reforms, cooperation. So the novel brings into the light the hollowness of the feudal system, and the entire novel is written in the background of a village culture and the problems related to it. Then there is Godan, which is also very famous novel by Premchand. It deals with the middle class tendencies when there is love for ornaments and the exploitation of the police forces and the problems related to the independence of the countries. All these can be seen in the Godan. Then there is Godan, that is prescribed. It describes the problems related to the life of the farmers in India. The description is so vivid and comprehensive that it touches almost every aspect of the peasant life, and it can be easily called as an epic in prose describing life and activities of the Indian farmers. The main issue that Premchand touches in the novel are the problems related to the oppressed class of the society, and as he was very much closely attached with the village life and he had a deep knowledge of the various problems of villages. So the structure of his novel is based on the village life. Here we find the agony of the suppressed humanity in it. He shows or presents the selfishness of the auditors, hollowness and hypocrisy of the feudalist society, clergymen, oppression of the poor and the disintegration of the joint family system. So we can say that Godan is the gist of Premchand's life and his long experiences that he has presented in a combined form and effective form in a very artistic manner. So Premchand, we can say, had ample knowledge and experience of human life. He gained knowledge not just by reading books but by observing life very minutely. He knew various tendencies and problems of his age and he wanted to bring change in the social setup by removing those vices that were prevalent at his time. So as a writer, he never neglected his social responsibilities. Rather, he wanted to share or shoulder those responsibilities honestly and very sincerely. He therefore chose a vast canvas of life for his novels and depicted in them social, political, religious, and domestic aspects of life in such a manner and with very effective manner that we have never seen before in his predecessors. So, the greatness of Premchand's art and vision can be seen in on his novels, and which have a very universal appeal, and he wants to show the upliftment of the poor, the oppressed, and the downtrodden. That had made him a writer at par with likes of Tolstoy and Dumas, which were great writers in the other side of the world. Thank you.